2 coffees that will change our lives forever. The Co-Ferments. Why do we have to do that? Quite a bit when I think about these coffees that have been doctored, altered, changed, enhanced, is that what does it taste like before that? I think this coffee is going to be extremely loud, extremely in your face, not subtle whatsoever. Is this the evolution of coffee? Or are we just bored? Two coffees that will change our lives forever. The Co-Ferments. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I really don't. We're talking about coffee. And in this case, it's been a month since I've roasted these coffees. Now it's time to taste them. However, before I actually taste them, I just want to talk about it. My predictions, where the industry's going, my first initial predictions of what I may think of these coffees. And we'll go from there. Co-Ferments. Some people love them, some people hate them. I think I've actually had 1 or 2 Co-Ferments before in my life. One was at the SEA convention last year. I forgot what it was, but it was vivid. It was actually exactly what you think that the coffee is, you know? And it's one of those things to where that's probably part of the problem. So these coffees right here, I got a sample from Crown Jewel, from Royal Coffee, their Crown Jewel selection. And I got 2. It's from the same producer. It's a Colombian carbonic honey processed coffees. And this one over here on my right is a green apple. Oh my God. Yeah. Amazing smell. Whole beans. This is probably one of the most intense coffees I've ever smelled. When I roasted it, it was a little tricky to roast actually, just thinking about it. But as soon as I pulled it from the roaster, the smells were extremely instantly intense. I was like, okay, it's gonna die down. It has not died down yet. Not died down at all. I do see some unevenness in the roast. I don't think that's me. Could be, we'll see. So honey. Don't know really all the stuff that's with this type of processing. We'll talk about that a little bit more. So this one on my left is a peach. The peach is extremely intense. It has that blood orange type of smell to me. This one's a little bit more evenly roasted, it seems. One of them is a light roast and the other one is a medium to light roast. They're probably more so the same. And that's the coffees. Carbonic, honey, co-ferment processing. Means that they usually use that actual fruit to infuse the coffee. So that's what we're doing here. That's what we're tasting. That's what we're supposed to be tasting. And the thing about it is like, why do we have to do that? I think that's one of my biggest gripes with the way things are going right now. A lot of times, I know in the past, we all look down on, a lot of people look down on flavored coffee. You know, the vanilla extracts, the French, whatever it may be, French, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You got the pecan, you got the You got the vanilla, you got the caramel, you got the hazelnuts, you got all those different things as we're talking about coffee, right? And those are infused with alcohol. I know because I used to do that quite a bit for certain customers. That's just what they wanted. They gravitated to it all the time. So I'm very familiar with that type of processing. It's not really processing, it's just what you do after the actual roast. Do you actually taste those flavors? To an extent, you do, especially over a nice creamer or a milk-based drink. You will taste it. If you drink it by itself, not so much, really. It's just kind of wondering why, if it is fighting with that coffee, depending on the coffee, the vessel. A lot of times whenever I used to do that, I used Brazilian because it had more so like a blank slate. So those flavors had a better shot of actually infusing so you can actually taste what that is. This is more so the same. Let's be honest here. This is more so the same. It is. It is literally infusing flavor into a coffee through processing after harvesting. That's really what you're doing. And then one of the things I think about often, quite a bit, when I think about these coffees that have been doctored, altered, changed, enhanced, is that what does it taste like before that? Does it taste good already? Is it something that I will gravitate to anyway? Those are some of the things that I constantly think about all the time when it comes to these doctored, altered coffees beyond the traditional way of actually processing coffee. I could be an old head, liking saying that the good old days, they're not like they're like it is what they were before, but you know, I've been tasting some really decent coffees lately. Most of them have been washed. There has been a couple that have been natural, white honey here and there. But at the end of the day, these type of processings are here to stay. They just are, you know? And the thing about them is that what do we do about it? Because a lot of times people just smack a label on it saying that this is what you're going to be tasting. And they're like a lot higher prices. Do you want to pay for those prices? Do you see the awesomeness in these type of coffees? Or are these like one hit wonders? Or do you have to have them at a certain time? Like naturals are to an extent to me. It's like they hit you really hard and punchy. And then they die down. You know? And that's what I'm sensing that this is going to happen with this. It's a coffee that seems very complex, but is very one-dimensional. That's my predictions. Let's just talk about my predictions right now. I think this coffee is going to be extremely loud, extremely in your face, not subtle whatsoever, especially in the initial sip of the coffee. I think I am going to taste those flavors, those green apples, but then I think as I keep drinking, coating my mouth, those flavors are going to change a little bit. I think as the coffee cools, it's going to be more so the same. I don't think I'm going to get anything different in that realm. I know the smell is going to be extremely intense, especially after I grind this coffee. Something that I probably would have never, ever thought to have smelled in coffee. I wonder if the taste is going to be better than the smell. More than likely it's not. Just keeping it real. It's not that I have a lot of expectations for these coffees. They are what they are. Hopefully they are juicy and amazing and magnificent. But that's not up to me. Not right now. It's just me just tasting and enjoying these coffees as much as I can. I don't think I'm going to be enjoying this coffee for the long haul. I would gravitate and think about the novelty aspect of these coffees. But after that, I may get bored of it. Like I said, that coffee that I had at the convention last year, it was interesting because you can actually taste exactly what you would think that you're tasting. And I think that's probably part of the problem here. A lot of times when we talk about coffee, we talk about tasting notes. We're trying to see actually what we're tasting in a coffee, especially if we drink it black. And as we do that and taste our coffees, it more so being a washed coffee, even a semi-wash, lesser to extent a dried coffee, those flavors can be subtle. They can barely tell the story of that coffee. Sometimes you have to manipulate it some way, somehow, in order to bring out the flavor and the taste of that coffee. So I get it. I'm not lost in this whole notion. But is that really what we're trying to do here? We're so bored or just done with regular processed coffees that we have to step it up a notch because we can't get that kick, that high, that understanding of what that coffee is. Is that what we're doing here? And if we're doing that, say it. Say the damn thing. I just want more flavor in my coffee. And this is the way I get it down with it. Could be that. It just could be that. So those are the things that I think about constantly because we're altering, we're doctoring the coffee beyond its natural taste. We're putting flavor into it. Kind of bizarre if you think about it. So that's just kind of like where I'm thinking right now. This is my soapbox. I haven't drank these coffees yet. I wanted to give you my predictions, my initial thoughts of what I think that's going to be magical or not magical in these coffees. I think my expectations are low. So hopefully when I actually do drink them, it's going to be amazing. And I'll report back to you, of course. But even if they are great, what I just said, I think that's the current state that we're in right now. Because we're not trying these processings for the fun of it. They're trying to see what you want, why you care about it. The processors, all the other people involved in actually trying these methods. They're thinking about you and what you care about. And if it's actually something that you really, truly want. Because don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. These are not going to be cheap. Especially not now. They're only going to get more probably expensive. And then eventually they'll probably start coming down in price. But if you want a bag of this, it's going to be pretty expensive, I would think. Because of the amount of work involved in all of this. So, is this the evolution of coffee? Or are we just bored? going to let you answer that question. Talk to you later. Bye.